Hello, everyone. Welcome to your daily collective reading for September 9th, 2025. This is a collective meet reading. As such, take what resonates and leave the rest. Don't try and force the message to fit. If you'd like to book a personal reading, please just send me a message and we'll work it out. Okay. So today is a very important day. It is 3 nines today. This is 2025 is a 9-year numerology. Nines signify endings. And so today being a day of triple nines is really all about shedding the old in order for everything that we are creating to be able to have room to manifest. So today is a big day. So let's see what our reading has for you. You have the bridge. I pulled this card with the intention that I would pull your current energy. And so your current energy is the bridge, the connection, the link, the gate. Bridges are built to connect two worlds. They create flow, allowing us to travel between realms, ideologies, and personalities. This archetype is the gesture of acceptance, saying yes rather than withholding, separating, and saying no. When we cross a bridge to an unknown land, we are led magically into a new reality. We open up to otherness. Healing and communication are made possible. We enter a state of curiosity, wonder, and learning. The shaman, for example, creates the bridge between the everyday world and the sacred. This card asks us to study the connections between the seemingly disconnected parts of our lives, relationships, ideologies, histories. Remember that a bridge can't be forced. It must be made with love, or its structure will not withstand the inevitable weather of life. So when this archetype is light, it's acceptance, magic, and communication. And when this archetype is dark, it is lacking boundaries or forcing connection. This reminds me actually of the Bifrost here, the rainbow bridge of Norse mythology. So perhaps you're being called to create energetic bridges at this time instead of walls, opening up to amending, even within ourselves, amending between the different parts and aspects of ourselves, our personalities, to find ways that we can find total self-love and acceptance instead of cutting ourselves off from certain parts of our being. And this may also be in the real world as well, relationships with others and people. We are being asked at this time to be the bridge for others, perhaps to be able to mend parts within themselves. How can we be this energetic bridge for those we love? And then you have bounteous, generously given, relationships and coming together. You see we have these two figures, the two hummingbirds above them. It's almost like these mirror images. There's a coming together, which makes perfect sense with the bridge. Bounteous. There's plenty for all. What can we share with others? How can we come together in an organic way? Again, you got deep sea diving, way of the mystic, learn through experiencing, depths. I want to read this card for you. Feeling called to do so. Deep sea diving. Love it. Okay. The mystic wants to have a direct experience with the sacred. The sacred is everywhere and within everything. So every moment is an invitation to deepen the connection within. The mystic learns through merging with life, through experiencing things firsthand, through learning about what's known and then diving into what's unknown for the chance of a direct, intimate experience. Mystics are sacred explorers of this world, both inner and outer. Open-hearted and minded, they're willing to journey into the uncharted waters in order to truly live. If you receive this card, it's likely you're being called to learn through direct experience, to dive in and explore things for yourself. Like the Sumerian goddess Inanna, journeying to the underworld to return completely transformed. The way of the mystic is not for the faint-hearted, but is a way to truly live. Most learn through reading books and following processes. The way of the mystic is much deeper, more experimental, more experiential, it could be experimental too, and feminine. It requires faith and courage. It demands you disregard external maps and be led from within. And while every step of the journey may not be clearly marked, the way ahead always emerges, and the transformation cannot be replicated. Perhaps you're in an uncharted place in your life or being called to embrace uncertainty. You're being called to the depths, and you will return transformed. Your healing affirmation is, I trust my path and choose to see the sacred everywhere and within all things. I follow the intelligence that's within me. How lovely. The way of the mystic. The bridge. And bounteous. Okay. So next steps from your guides here. What have we got? New moon in Taurus. Know your worth. First quarter moon in Libra. Keep your heart open. Full moon in Gemini. Embrace the flow of life. I think it's interesting here that these cards came out in a cluster, but in an order as well. As you see, we're moving from a new moon to a first quarter moon to a full moon. So this is a process that's taking place in a timeline. You first have to know your worth and then keep your heart open to embrace the flow of life is the culmination. Beautiful. Any other messages for the viewer? And then back to new moon again. New moon in Leo. Shine. Don't be afraid to put yourself all out there and let the whole glory of yourself be seen. Not just the parts that you think will be accepted, but all of you. Let your fears dissolve. Full moon in Cancer. This speaks of there's not really anything to be afraid of here, except for the figments of your imagination, imagining worst case scenarios that aren't exactly likely to come to be, but they make sense what in you from your previous experience why you're afraid of them. But this is a card speaking of you can it's safe to let your fears dissolve because you don't have to worry about that right now. And then you also got release control. Thankfully, not everything is in our control. The divine does play a hand in our lives, especially if we invite it to do so, and we turn our problems over to the divine and let that energy assist us in solving the problem. We do not have to control everything for everything to be under control.